The Detroit Lions were able to pull off a surprising upset on opening night against the Kansas City Chiefs with the help of a few key players. One of the biggest storylines of the game was rookie running back Jahmyr Gibbs and his usage. In today's video, we're going to look at how Gibbs was used and what made him so explosive. And will they work him more into the offense, even though they have David Montgomery getting a majority of the touches? Let's dive into the film. I want to start by looking at his balance. A lot of people talk about his speed, but Gibbs has an elite ability to stay up on his feet. On his first career carry, the Chiefs send both their corners into the backfield. He should be trapped right here. But Gibbs is able to spin off of that tackler and continue moving forward. This should have been a catastrophic play, but because he's able to break a tackle, it at least makes it back to ground zero. And here we're going to see balance combined with vision. Gibbs sees the outside hole and hits there, but then he realizes that a defender is getting there, so he spins back in and continues to move and absolutely trucks two defenders. This play is when we start to see why I put him as a bowling ball in the thumbnail, as his cutback ability there is beautiful, as he's last second able to turn back in, and that spin move is deadly to defenders. We're mostly highlighting his highlights, but we're going to bring up every play, and I know this broke every fantasy owner's heart, but I also love that he continues moving after he's tackled. You can make a case there was a hole right there. He probably could have cut there without, because it was the cut that kind of caused him to slip. But what I do love is that even though he's tackled the first time and he's down, he gets back up, and it took a pile of defenders to get him back down. Yes, he could have probably went straight, and we saw him run over Cook literally last play, but got in the end zone maybe. But I think that seeing the heart he has here is at least worth something. And looking at his signature play in the game, we once again see the balance come into play here as he takes the run outside and reads it. But right here, he notices the defender to the out and cuts it back in, once again showing the vision. But then the half spin move here is a move that you don't see very often and allows him to get that first and put the game in reach for the win. And it's really, once again, the balance here that allows him to do that. And now let's look at the unique ways they used him in the offense, which is maybe what we anticipated. They've been talking about that they're going to use him in different ways. Starting with, they are going to use him in the receiving game. That's going to be pretty clear here. Montgomery is going to be the power back, but they're going to be willing to put Gibbs in the backfield to throw it to him, as well as they're going to line him up on the outside. We saw this a couple times, and right here you're going to notice in this situation, they line him up on the outside of the play like a receiver, but they motion him in, and they give him the handoff, and this had the potential to be even more of a gain than it was, but I like the play design there to just get him in open space. And once again, you'll see it on this one, they line him up more in the slot. And this play is very interesting. Side note, Jared Goff perhaps missed two receivers here, but it still succeeded in the play. First of all, great chip block immediately. Then you see he's upset he didn't get the ball. He was open, which of course there was a better player downfield, but also Amon-Ra St. Brown was also wide open, so he was frustrated as well. You don't see that often where they get a first down, but there were some other plays available. But as you can see here, they're willing to line him up all over the field, and that may be where they take advantage of that. So I predict that by the end of the season, they'll work Gibbs more in, but I'm not necessarily surprised that at the moment they're using Montgomery in those situations. I was kind of hesitant on touching either of the Lions running backs in fantasy this season just because we don't know. And I think that, as some other people have mentioned, if you get that one touchdown on the slip play, people are viewing the night as a completely different viewpoint, really. And looking at even the PFF grades, for example, you've got Gibbs grading over 20 points higher than Montgomery, but I don't think that's going to right away translate to more touches than Montgomery immediately. I imagine that at worst, Montgomery is still going to be used at the goal line. I think they like his possibilities, but I think what Gibbs showed in this game really should give the coaches, eyes heads up. But I think at least they'll use him in these creative ways and line him up around the field. So we'll see what happens in this situation if they're going to work him more in. I'll be back with more film breakdowns and NFL picks this season. Thank you for watching.